ne way ni say the role ni say or prosecute amanfo nko na mom one of the role and say obe communicate amagana for who the way a manner things play out in the country. It is very, very important. Say dear ma abai no ye nyina no obetimi educate the general public ama amanfo who kwanya nema faso a eko. And for me, I think say
live on the radio on 92.3 ayaha ena Ghana kasana pempem ni amansani edom enyineti etikoso na fa messages to 0541825106 Ivan Yanko
Alaska. So I think it's very important say obe educate ama manfo hu de ekoso because Attorney General makasa nye na adwuma nkwan so prosecute. He's an agent of this government, our Attorney General and Minister of Justice. So at any point in time, and Nema Ekosubiade has a duty to update people because governance, you know, and yet a non quansa what to them their way. Number their way, no getting people to know because governance, you know, a multi-stakeholder, your friends say engagement. Are the people are critical stakeholders, so you cannot run a country and leave the people out.
Okay.
So if Ghanaians got to about Jina saying Krufobi we are musika and no so Mujina got to about Abina Waban, you have the duty. Say every step of the way, Biano, you must inform the people. I'm for say I didn't uncle court and co prove na Alaska. Say in politics, no, obi we usika na say we inform people. Enya court na ekokano.
Okay.
Court ni pa do say nya kwan ko.
That's right.
Court no yes say the criminal proceed the criminal aspect of it no and a court adjudicate but stopping the Attorney General as an officer and agent of the government to inform people the state of play because okwa onko ka kira manfo say asuma sia before and asuma sia say
okay
or presented the chronology of event as they've occurred in their logical sequence. Sabeya Ghana new will appreciate and understand kwanya nema faswa echo so that you as a journalist you will not be in a vacuum. Okay. And you come and sit and speak their own pet. Nambum, you will be speaking from a very informed perspective because Abino is divulging information because over the years Adeba Komaka say ma buying bottom and they say they don't give out information so
they keep it to themselves.
Exactly. And whenever you create a vacuum, people will fill it with cynicism.
Okay.
And you cannot begrudge them what they feel because you hold the information. If you are not giving it out, then they will make their own information because information naturally will have to flow. So I think that one has to be made clear. Say buying update general public on the state of affairs. Kwanya among for criminal prosecutions are causing as a former. It's not adhesive that even in America they do those things. You understand?
Okay.
Because you need to sustain public confidence and let the people know say we are not doing this alone as a government. You are part of it because you voted against the people saying say they stole our money. In the Argentina, any action we are by no taking, they have to keep the people in the dark.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Because governance and yet president there and then the ministers there. It belongs to the people of this country. But that last time I catch up about court. So we are judge now you are dispensing justice in the name of the republic for the people because justice emanates from us.
Exactly.
So you cannot sit in the courtroom and say I am a court into the mepe. It doesn't work in this modern world. So San Attorney General no rule no sit here. But Alaska, and no because your friend said the last time I catch all the lengthy processes that you need to go through.
That's right.
In case you want to do your friends say extradition for your friend saying where yeah. And me kwatena no question back one na keep coming up. Yes Argentina boys no mo ya fraud o ha say no quickly na Ghana ban atamamo de ama America for na ye nkrofo no makoka ho ne de your friend say ye ntimi ntwe omomma.
That's right.
We see say opasa wo ye analysis it's reasonable to do that analysis as from a raw perspective, it's reasonable to make that argument. But when you walk deeper into the issues, then you come to understand say the issues are quite different.
Okay.
The issues are totally different because issues are irregularity, your friends say repatriation, and based on the issue at stake.
Okay.
Because you have a bilateral agreement you sign it with the United States of America, and I work on the principle of your friends say your friends say oh yeah no me yama announce why yama me
okay
reciprocal and say ye hear obi na aban no hia obi a obi assist ye won so no ye be assist amaba. And America has this bilateral engagement with a lot of countries, but you see a different when it is a political matter.
Okay,
so obi kwaya fraud internet so na say fraud no no the victims involved American citizen who asem kan repatriation no different because investigation na cause no Ghana ban enya investigation regarding the matter.
Okay,
US aban and I investigation regarding the matter. I don't more present it to you. So based on this treaty we have, we will need these people. But when it is it will be different when America near or your politician, Ghana, not your repatriating. They will have to go through a cumbersome process, just like an Oforata day.
Okay,
because you see, because of your friends abuse of political power and other related ways, they do it in such a way, say. Yemfa use opportunity na yemfa enwechi hante obi in the name of political persecution.
Okay,
that is a critical clause. And in politics, when it's a political matter and you want to repatriate, Abrante ya US for pena repatriating Julian Assange, your friend saying WikiLeaks.
That's right.
Wakotana equated embassy UK for almost like how many years in there?
So many years.
So many years. US of all countries, episode repatriating on twin society for how many years in here? So when it is a political matter, it's a different thing. So that comparison say, or more internet fraud, CS change you for Kenoforata, no. That is not the case. It's a different ball game altogether when it comes to repatriation because political issues, are a bit more complex and more complicated because you need to adduce evidence to convince the other counterpart to say, Nipa now you repatriating no. Indeed, why about Nampa? Now, and yes, a time or what time no.
That's right.
And I yes, and I'm so wouldn't need the political party be. And I say, one and a about Bibinti and I overfather than a cop. So in that case, you need to adduce evidence. I am very credible. That is why we needed an indictment. I am credible bit in the court of competent jurisdiction.
Okay.
And now we now almost say indictment. I say already no. That indictment is going back to the US.
That's right. For them to also study.
Will be submitted to the DOG. And the DOG and the State Department, and after working things out, will go to US Federal Court. We'll give it to a judge. For a judge to examine the case, and a judge is satisfied, say indeed, near mana ye accuse Kenoforata no, Ghana a bonnet, Oka America a bonnet or Makacha said the crime ye accusing is a why should be the same thing, should be a crime in America.
Okay.
The why yes, we are caught to Nadia. Someone say yes, ya indicted and basis in the and ya witch hunting and ya BBR then. The case will refer back to the State Department and the DOG, and they will make a final determination as to whether the person will have to be repatriated or not. So the final discretion, even aside the court, will depend when the State Department is convinced that Nipano and your political witch hunting. And everybody says you call all this ordeal. And your man boy, yes, why should we go through this if you know say why Papa? And again, Osama update about this woman. Your friend is saying, said the numbers. On extradition process now go through. On no crime the other day, US Federal Court or dear seminary. She's supposed to be extradited to Ghana.
That's right.
Until the other day has been completed.
Good.
But you need a red light from the State Department to say, you're the number.
And now I'm going to continue with
the sentence for her. So it's not as if that case, I'm not watching it. That case, I think the repatriation process started in Akufo-Addo.
That's right.
We'll go through all the court process in Asifo has been heard, and it's in the final way they need to clear for her to be repatriated. So those who are saying, say, you cannot for that time, for near brain, so woman, so the case is pending. Say, US for the green lighter, she will have to come back to this country because we are taking no prisoners. What the bonnet? It doesn't matter where NDC and MPP. Masa, so issues has to be made clear. And that is the fact. But me the say Kenoforata the all ye na mana daddy say enyare so yare.
Na deliberate.
I can't say I'm taking it serious. Catch that will say there is no way this guy will come into this country.
Sir.
And the all ye ni nyane crocodile the John. And then abedadi. And Obia also yare, Winya Bone or Ghana, and you are willing to come. Oba, John Mahama, no be or you're vindictive.
That's right.
Oh, Bakasa Wabanti and Chomfan prison. He's not somebody who do those things. and Attorney General Krama gave him all the assurances. He said, Oba, due process in the MS or go through via.
So say the ama edubahi no.
Yadoba fam. And yes, Oba and be abandoned when they go to prison. It doesn't work like that. And you know, be assured, say, wouldn't himself when you're born bra. But the gentleman is not willing. Because I don't want to know how Brabo Bonnia, what boy, no one can the political party for cross Tiana, or near New Year. So the only way over to me, I say, me play this I am sick card, playing the emotional card. Now on fan stay, and now I'll go to the point of hiring top US lawyers
to defend.
Federal court now this indictment case never come. Omo Bekwa could defend their case. Case no more that no. But a political beneath it a political undertones a witch hunt and on that basis so bad and life will be in danger and that is the only reason he's hired the lawyers. Yes, to tell you as a bind say Ungrofo no omabo me hopo dada the cases you omo raise wo hanyina mo boa se menya koduru say omo de me be shem I will not get fair hearing in asefo no. This is why he is insisting on say all getting US your friends and lawyers on his side to make this point because maybe original say no or no or advantage change.
That's right.
Especially when he's also playing I am me better months ago catch us when somebody is playing I am sick card what we be bia we are US for say monfa play no if he begins to play the I am sick card it to make nonsense of all the process. We are even for then right. You have to then any court in some BM it will go to the hospital for the hospital to prove and so what's under court to BM say no any issues no BM
and for now krano you go so tete kra pose or citizenship we nkrade so some kra be you citizen krade
Alaska enter America say you see these guys are jokers nobody should take them serious because so your friends say kwan US are buying afaso your friend say kendo for ata afaso akondate no ho e wo kroma say na these guys are jokers to the stand say this is the finance minister of the Republic of Ghana one of the most powerful people kroma na wo yi ni patria e binum kra so a powerful chain baumia
that's right
and the most powerful person a wo krowem na ye kind of uyi president for na kind of reata on na masoja for ne kura na bag din ne koba nti dey na asesa wan kasa ma me kuro papa kuro untumi ma hasai and ade we so one mama catch say is going to be an indictment on him forever
and that of his family
and that of his children because your child will walk to school and people will tell him say oh papa kwase ampanyi no fa sika odwane ya wantimi ma kuro okowu obi man so no
so ka kwase ampanyi kuro o papa kuromfo no
yes na say kuromfo no kwase ampanyi the difference be anim obi a wi ahiafo sika de obi a wi ahiafo sika de
obi betumi aye kwase ampanyi so no ye kuromfo
Alaska enti this is the kind of your friend saying brand ya ne ma ebebe e wo kroma sei if you to kwan kra na manfo hia that is the kind of idea manfo de beto so elisa wunim sa wunya nya ebone a me se akufo ado kra na nam kroma sei president akufo ado ono otam Ghana sika kotu amana say yenye ya fa de say
cathedral
yenye cathedral na no mete se na din ya spouse ha na say this year World Cup na ya tum sika no na wa oba we ne World Cup ru benya $50 million na mo ni age bo mo nsem na me say mo nim bibi yete kroma World Cup win sika mienu sika na omo kotu amana no etese Ghana win World Cup mienu World Cup na ye kobia na no mo ma $10 million ye ni age no World Cup no se Ghana ko na ye win cup no na ade che no mo se mo sen abofoforo na ye sen akobo na ye san win a sika benya free sa World Cup mienu no
obi di atu
amana wo na nipa tena se di nkrasesem wei
anya nkrasesem nipa bonefo sem
Alaska na kwabra ne tena krom ha egu amanfo bank ene papa kwasi ndiom eye ye fence mi hu se de mi se okafo eno nam krom asai
kara
ono ankasa ntimi nante wo krom a osi krom no ye ono nko obi di ababo ni timaku no because obi sika kwa akodi ho somebody called me and says ni sika over there 400,000 ekodi Gold Coast way accusing papa kwasi ndiom so oni na adi ni sika but ebia na enyo ono a
that's right
ba kwabra ne de timoden ene apart from say kwasi ndiom abaye ekawura no on man life is also in danger because I am not sure say papa kwasi ndiom can walk on the street of Ghana free of fan wadi obi hu na call so kwa kwaji ni sika your friend say other banks GT bank he say papa no wa dan motivational speaker various platforms
UT bank or say after say wo gu ni bank kura wie ye no wa sankro osizi ni password bibia later wa kura send the passport ni man no ni ba graduate to America or the kwa amaka to American embassy say my emfa
vesa ma no
it was say ni niam no e no kokokran tumi
o boni e nkrofo waiting na saa nipa we na no dwana kwatena America omra kuro meyi na no obi anya mfa asem to so yes say you were the person at the center of all the financial controversy across okroma say bra na beyi wa no na yehu said the nsem no sitie de ade ato so no come and clear your point enya me ya na say na tie court no nipa na tie okodi asem o yentimi nchichira asem mfa nsha wo kwan abranya wo na wo ye mfa nkoto prison now the very moment you wave this and decide to fight it so ma to the extent that just on minor attempt to extradite you and then no wo sign ko han lawyers are how shameless these people are and how dangerous Akufo-Addo is by bringing in these petty criminals to come and run this country down. And the President Akufo-Addo tenchan na obi a wunya agidie wo ni mu se omaye finance minister sa nkura sesem we na tenchan ya. How will you feel as a person?
Dabio ade no tumu say well orchestrated omu tena ase say e be wia. Na we are dwane ko.
Na dwane ne we nyansane be dwane afiri kurom. We obi a we nyansane a o ma me kuro papa kurom. We dwane afiri kurom and you can't come back. And so what declare ho persona non grata?
That's right.
Menim ba bia na mawo e bia obetimi afasuma se apia mu nyina de akode a Alaska. So you see, the onus may lie on the state, but larger part of this onus lie on Kenoforiata.
That's right.
And for me, his unwillingness to come no is a huge indictment on him, Akufo-Addo, and the very people who were defending him.
And even the party.
And the party. And I had the party, yeah. I done into jokers and I'm for nam social platform and Sabian some Hunin some funa Casafino when I'm not moke country. Look at the party. And this is the product you gave us, Kenoforiata. Or namana washisha white to Bible and I saw Chromo or Nimse Padona Nimyansa.
That's right.
And do time Bible na namna yenya mini pa you convince a lot of people. You understand? Because Nipana Ohiana Jinjintino. The very moment I befa Bible so nam so nyame asem na no obi abedi wachi. And this guy was able to fool everybody in this country. Not knowing say they were running Ponzi schemes. When we were here telling people, they thought say we didn't like Akufo-Addo and then when we are here, the whole finance minister cannot. And other person can hold any years
That's right. Now who will be here?
Alaska. And you see, because a orchestration, you know, omo ye na no aban no woso no mu dwane ye then they are seeking to create impressions you find saying chief of staff and a man kwan hoping say telling people say a chief of staff under this government no a chief of staff under the same government permitted him to leave because the letter was submitted to him at the time not transition and happy in place right. John Mahama even though was president he didn't have any power because Akufo-Addo was president so they did everything that they could to run away. And this bring back to Amamu Akufo-Addo bebu ye. Ti yetena na ka kire say a dark page in a political history. Don't sit there and emotionally say obi mpenasem. Amamu boni obebu ye na hunsunsan so to the stand say o mind ba akutimi de within 4 years. Eko capital market because I say yamakwan yetimi ko bobosia kwabrane ko raise over $11.4 billion bakroma. 11.
Now, idea yakura so osan use ni bank as transactional advisors. It busse bi obabobiano na ni bank.
Alaska and see the difference between NDC and MPP. Within 4 years, oh no, 4 years back, within 2-3 years. Yakobo bosia $11.4 billion bakroma ye hu ade ayede ye. John Mahama ba power within 1 year. Less than 1 year. Sami Jamfi outfit I raise sikasa
8 billion.
I can tell you that by the end of this year, that money will be around 10 billion for just 1 year. But kwabrane the 4 years kobo bosia 11 billion. John Mahama by nothing has changed. It's just the thinking keke. realign priorities and making sure that we concentrate on how you better mobilize sika for minor. Gold board, gold, buy gold or chroma say.
No.
Say gold no harder.
That's right.
So all that they needed to do is to bring wisdom to bear and make sure that the state become the only medium of export of gold in this country, and the money will come to the central bank. That's the only thing. This joker sat in this country, borrowed this particular country into hell, into a hole. After that, the sikani din semhunu, eshe sikani nyina, dibi kotu amana. Ba so for pa mombe ne nam ho bo kotu kese obi bejira no kasa because am ne hawo abaka kira obi ba konda sora no pa dua na esi na nim timi ye school feeding odidi bone nim wi a o
asofo na nanado
Alaska o ma no mo de cathedral chi o bone mi ni hoho a se ne classmate na Yesu wani na chi a chesa ono de ti din semhunu okrom ha ehye Ghana sika. And these people are out there telling us, oh, your friend is saying, my resign every board, so, and I say, and I want kind of crunch, and I will join. The air cost one. Yeah, you tell, yeah, young crown cry at Tinchan, so say, and some who would get in a while, so one answers in your mini pan, one who answer one deal with, or call my new Robert and have a catcher, say, no, my resign, I didn't tell me, I will join, your fraud, or the win your drain. Nipana catcher, say, on fire of my sick and ya opa, yeah, dash out millions of dollars, no, Nassika, no fruit, and now never, nothing, if you papa on a neighbor. Kroma na yen kan okre entina ye bre muni pan kan okre
but nana do ni papa ni
Alaska ye bekoso abre wo man we ma me na no na meka me se lumba case bae na me hu say I now understand why ahianfo bekoso ye ahianfo because even with this poor society aye wo mean people are not your friend say nipa on kan okra friend say
nipa on kan
yes yes, that is a society, very corrupt society, a society devoid of morals. Na ohiani numpo nka no kwe na sikani na beka no kwe ohiani onu onni di obedi no onu kra nka no kwe na sikani na be so the society is cursed miss Adam mi hu no oh yes
cursed
Alaska now the society is cursed now Alaska if you are morally corrupt you can never be successful unless obefa kwan foforo so say man fofo kwan bebere so obefa so obefa sika but what if you are now morally corrupt you will never be successful in life. Yes, people make money. They are not way morally whatever, but people have other means. So we bet me out on drugs and yenisika.
That's right.
We bet me out for common is but some may bobra papa adia ye if you are morally corrupt or boah. And because that is nature. Nature has its own prescriptions and nature has its own principle. This society is a very corrupt society, Ghana. We know who she am say lumba situation by just can't true and you understand why never cause was here for no woman best here our mona na dibi because the society is a very corrupt society. And for me I think say Kenoforata na Akufo-Addo do mo ye e toda ya but afeme ye mu binu ye stance ya fa dada say Alaska o man na ye team no sa na beye. And the course you still get people who come out there and defend and say, oh, Kenoforata. And then what boy a former we no or see o makruma and when yesika at the high top judges in America to go and defend him. The Attorney General will do his best to ensure say on by the Nabakruma say, but say no, he has the upper hand. Well, you Ghana government because it is a political matter. Yes, sir. Kenoforata aye yahoo. And that is say abutre kanum die bi no wakwa America. I don't know. We may not have to go through any process.
I know say pa
obeba. But when it is a political this is the point I want Ghanaians to understand. Say when it is a political extradition, it's a different thing. So I've listened to people say, why didn't I say exchange? That is a very narrow argument to make. You need to understand the extradition, what is involved, and how these treaties are. If it is any other case, Obia Kotomona, Ghana ni Kotomona, our America, our crew and we Ghana Kotan America, and extradition are very easy.
Okay.
But when it is a political matter, especially when the person is a high politically exposed person or hold a position of a finance minister, you need to convince. That is why my culture say WikiLeaks or more CEO no that still America hasn't been able to extradite him. Snowden. They haven't been able to extradite him because these are high profile political cases, it's a different ball game altogether. So I think that obi blemuna mamboyefo no omo na se blemu omo na kenofori atade me say forever and never na busia ne yere ne made they will be walking on the hall of shame forever because the omo ye eno hunsun so omo deserve eno na eba yi
me say exactly 4 p.m. me twa me wajeje nkra to sima Ivan Chey innocent nothing nka messages no ba na eba station here
Ahoto FM 92.3
eba sesia
Ghana for media sampanam o hwehwe sika krabia bia ebedi wagina mu ewe mra wakwa ahoyeye mu a ende memba wakwa basronko de ba Opportunity International Savings and Loans edia ya giatum ewe sika krabia batan mechira Bank of Ghana emu ya bon krabata edia sanwotwe mechira 38 branches in the 10 out of the 16 regions of Ghana. Ye wasikatu ahodo ya shishama metre current account, savings account, susu deposit, fixed term deposits, wopebosiana, opportunity ma SME loans, group loans, school improvement loans, school fees loans, individual business loans, Greek loans for for church loans, and a salary loans. Freyawa homa trofo no so 0302 610 001 0800 850 850. Some bosses Opportunity International Savings and Loans are no what Jimmy so say opportunity for all.
Ebusia eyiwoni so di hu say obesi dan awafi mu ana ene na me kanfo Heart Builders Real Estate ede amawo Heart Builders Real Estate eyi dwumako a wono mu atonton ensase won ensase ni bi ewo Shy Hills Tripoli enafi Ningo Pram enije sema ewo ho ne say won ensase a ewo Tripoli ani Ningo Pram no ya tete so ede aba
30,000 Ghana cedis and 25,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh umpewe na upedie for
25,000 Ghana cedis.
Pe Fabra ni yentwe ensase a eda Shy Hills ni bi enfama o Heart Builders Real Estate wono mo san so tonton adansie any plumbing materials BAB wono mo ye architectural drawing biofuel digester borehole drilling roofing hwehwe Heart Builders Real Estate echirakwan ewo Ashaman woni Mandela Park no ene dinhwe ani mu for Heart Builders ewo homeiso 0591 599 006 ana
0241 665 200.
Heart Builders Real Estate, the future planners.
Ahoto FMTFo yamawai nara fisiapa enjoy na tsma fita fina shase kabe na wiyi de biara eti Ahoto FM enbo na so ya be chawaze achadeze oye buburu ja motin de ebe fe Ahoto bridge mesido between 10 am and 12 noon be be so on some of Ahoto FM inu jumese no ha ebe chi bronya ho so nsam kakra etwape Ahoto FM achaze na so wo saka oya Ahoto FM bronya chaze enti onye atase bi man fan so ho onyan kanche ba e ban kanche ba papa ban kanche wo fa no biara fa no nsem Ahoto FM bronya ide ya nye wana na yeriti
wana no mpia Ahoto 92.3 FM yapio yepe.
Right, I'm so welcome back live on the radio on 92.3 FM. Time check is 3 minutes into 4 p.m. But Maminka was Omo Naija and Ahoto FM representing Culture Africa Global Network. Now Omo Naija end of year party baso. Now the premises of Ahoto 92.3. Nyami aduma ochina na excitement be na and also games, live music, dinner, celebration. So baso at exactly 2 p.m. and baso Ahoto FM premises ha. Enti se owo lashibi tema any important ma ochina 2 p.m. pepepe Ahoto FM yenim ha no Omo Naija program na oye no memre da bia no end of year ye bo tent kase pa wo yenim ha ochina Nigeria culture any Ghana culture ye bedi asa ema bibia so kanti mo achichi ni bencheye mo nyina momra na yenemu ento kase Lion Bar Citizen Consort say yere utu kwan e de akwa manone na nitu atwa nyina ne say ye Netherlands, Malta, Norway, Denmark and Romania 1 to 3 years direct employment work permit visa no ye de ebema na ye be hia o data passport data page no e was a white background passport picture na kasa standard CV and a full picture say who apply ye wo East Lagos main pass and Blue Gates and as a Tema community 2 from 0535 919 591 and a 0502 068 962 na yeni Lion Bar Citizen Consult mpenifo twetwen komo ma yenko ye next item minority air call for reshuffling amukache John Dramani Mahama say ni ministers ni bi wo ho a ye hia on so mumra on the floor of parliament na ombe yi nsem bi anu a ana wo mo emba ti se John Mahama ebehwe na nka obe consider first reshuffle anka bebu apa nipa o call we Anor Dompreh no backlash we bring na aba Ivan
Alaska
yanko
de kai mamenka se deal
aden
Anor Dompreh so obinya de anyi
President Mahama enye reshuffle
no ankasa kra na reshuffle na ye ya se nka otifie
na just speaking to the mic
call parliament na wo no mfa so obi ani ni so Alaska mfa so oba apart from sanse hunu ni sa dede hunu na chinje hunu no dia no mo ye. These are people who have professed that they will sabotage the government and they be biem ono ankasa konwa na ote so no asem wo ho
okay
ni ti anye ye kwa bi obukwa kwotena fie
ni ti anye ye
yes na say na ni issue no court
that's right
and opposition no mo ye no omumfa nye nema ebe magana ni enya rehemu na hotoso se o kan asem kra na nyansa se magana ni be fa o serious Alaska look at incident upon incident upon incident the position ne nsema akoso e wo parliament I say ye ni number no enti ye de ne se be cause confusion ne commotion of parliament. Now I say he who comes into equity must come with clean hands.
That's right.
And now you can't about the
reshuffle.
Alaska, we sat in this country for 8 good years. When Cabrani and we done in America so on by Etna Finance Ministry for how many years?
8 years.
Yet to me quiet entire almost by 4 years. Not reshuffle cry or be any people say. You only do reshuffle when you are convinced a particular sector is not performing.
Okay.
And that the president holds that discretion. As Ghanaian, you can express. But you cannot point to, sir, but it's a mobile lands minister.
No, but that's right.
Yes.
Because
Alaska, on what basis? Let's say we have done the survey. And based on the survey, we think that this, just original and as well, reshuffle. Now we are reshuffle parliament now to be some for so many war so as a cost to parliament. That is what I'm saying, sir. You are reshuffle based on non-performance. And Cornwall Kassan can reshuffle from parliament. Because parliament not in for so be any so. Or so general national Kasa. What you see is arrogance. People who are very empty but full of themselves.
Empty.
Oh yes.
But full of themselves.
The word arrogance a inner sickness. Oh. Answer na be who say obi air show arrogance to obi no. There is this element of inferiority complex within them. So he thinks talking down on others will make him feel superior.
Okay.
So obi who say oh yeah arrogant be yare enya hwe. Oh yes.
Arrogance who say
yare. Yes. There is a defect with it. Last time I can't say people should take it seriously. Growing up, no who a mabi and a party sorry them, a realty sorry them, and a joti sorry them or bompire or koba, a sorry co meeting odim, a sorry to coin, just a dear sorry baby home. What in China who knows? Hey, I buy idea donya mio. Minyano warananka, Alaska Yaman or some. There is a void within, and getting closer to we no a way of consolation. Do what in charges or some yame or nyame no do minka so munyina but half psychologically no the church is a place of refuge. If you know they are empty only obia to rely on, so they find the church as a refuge.
Okay.
And they are sorry baby she's ready because there is a void.
Empty, so
yes,
sorry no
to fill herself. And this is one who said answer no who know what Jane say oh or nyame no odo. That is why a ma to me the kako wara sofo mewie no mo nu ho no.
Sofo mami.
Yes. Open nipo mu dia we ho we ase a. Eye sa nkrofo no mo wara sofo na.
Asofo no yire.
Yes, because my catcher say
mo pop wa no ten.
Yes. Say we no be to anamon. Na we move fort won ho a. Catcher ho say we share abonsam dwane ntem.
Ah.
Oh yes.
I know cancer.
Me kansam. Say we no be sia. Na wo he ne life nyina na wo hu fort bia on ho a. Dwane. Na we share abonsam. Because when you walk in and you get to know who that person really is, e bia na ka achi. Eja sofo maame no senka obetimi na obi adi in confidence a openi po mo sofa was asisi o yomo a
because
no they go with a badge of innocence. Oh abrantie no hodwo ne nasefo. So when you assume somebody a hodwo onye bone na kowuram na kohu a, then everything takes you by surprise. By that time na bia work here we are na nyeye nti akomaya de ne BP nduro de bag ma onam ba bia egu ne bag
asofo maame no
BP nduro ne we de got nasty stuff abehu no enya de ketwa nti o we de na ho ni for ma he na onye we
wo su wodem opia bontin a nanim nti wani be dia o se
obon some it's better you identify nipa the short for near then you know then you try to work obetimi adjust obetimi complement na to get it better but the hu hwe won ho no and none so no ma minja window ho enye obia but majority omo ye 190% very dangerous. Wow. Very dangerous. So sa situation with here there is a void within, and going to church, going for meeting every minute, you know, it's a way of dodging from reality. Be a woman, she doesn't want to be alone and get exposed to that. And they always find connection or the whole jija or the whole shebibim sabi feel complete. Sana arrogance here. And nipa no mo ye that last time I catch o he nipa bubu na arrogance and sa aggression people na dodo na ya nkra brem ye shenani o ya
okay
ta kan de Japan no suban no bi no nkra brem ye tena o mo so like asa wo no beti nche na o hye wani ya like me hu se
na afi wa be soro
nya sa wo soro kra no sana nipa tie
okay
mind ne ye fra de be compensatory mechanism. Entino say who so as obi see so na even what dey ho kura no at the back of your mind you think say manye tougher sa childhood exposure na beba biem
I say obi aye nipa tietia na dey so bre no ho ase a enti I was say to me
manye hasha
say na nado sorry na bi
and they lack self confidence as well entino and so or impose ma wu say ono so wo ho
me tietia akura
no authority that kind of way no enti and I make say psychologically if you understand some of these things never be cause you will not be surprised what I say enti sa na tie arrogance no sa na tie what tinche wadwene say obunu no say avoid tokro danemu and shouting down looking down or tiatia manfo na sefo no and man feel important.
That is yes hostile.
Yeah.
Don't get close to exposing the weakness.
Exactly. The last time I call yeah nkwa yes teacher ni wait me dey okọ na obwa dodo na they have weakness. So getting close will get that particular weakness exposed. And you they anya deliberate o. Natural. Compensatory way about deny. So in order to ward off people no e akwese obi a wo na eji achinje na wontumi nkanyansasem. Now my ntokwa
okay
and you know ono ye boot to boot intellectual argument enko ba bia man by dining ntokwa they say we dodge the subject ye didi ya hwatem and that is in the area of specialty. So arrogance you know are and wu so when you see these people original man so and now look it down upon others men you say oh we are na woni mu inferiority complex and they think that bullying others you know will make them feel complete. That is all that. That is why they're unable to walk away. Look at Parliament. Afenyo Markin Anor Dompreh. That is why the last time we majority leader shutting it down. So you cannot just talk down on everybody.
That's right.
The Chief Justice was sitting there. He thinks that speaking in that particular manner will make him feel big. But Alaska, I believe in making a point with valid and cogent reasoning nipa betimi separate you from a lot of people. Say, this guy is making a lot of sense. Would have been aggressive, but in your natural state, some na what kind of Tony Passum, nyansa people can relate rather than say, sorry, Gina, ena me my command and then I say for them respect.
Okay.
We don't demand
respect and so reciprocal.
Exactly. Now no Canada Japan na mo say they wa turn down 500,000. Wo de bia na auto ade mo bi. Alaska. Nyansa for be na ye one wo ye papa mo bi a wo na akogina bonten akoka. The very moment you see people are there, men me bo away, men me ye say typical example onim nyansa. Ko wo ye papa mo bi a nipa no mom na so okodi hu adanse e. Enye wo ye papa no na akogina na men me ye say na men me ye say. And nyansa ni bia tinche bo mu say enkoradwene na wo tim. Ko wo ye papa mo bi a enya wo na okoka nipa na why papa man no so feel say indeed why papa man na the person will have to one can just let it go. You don't go around telling people say na wo ho chiro na me na to dan man no na ho chiro na me say ni nyina kire the defective mind the kind of way or mind in the womb. So some of these things, and for me, I am very disappointed in the way and manner things are playing around, especially with the minority and the way and manner Assembly no be kan Ghana for before serious game. Now last guy we live in the country always be opposition adamfo and your mind no. And na aban no nam ne baby. But John Mahama aban we 1 year. Aban no madam for na Ghana for. Say na no na me catch you be say na wo social media. You might be tempted to think say aban na koto nipa be go social media so mon kasa ma no.
Serious.
Say wo social media na ya to aba wie. You might be tempted to think say aban na koto nipa be go social media. Because there is a natural trend still a go against the opposition, which is but the trend is supposed to go against the government,
which is unusual.
A child say that your friend saying head hardness, toughness, aggression, disrespect, still Ghana for who. Now no many work on platforms or say you to abananka Ghana for better about my MPP no more film say abrantie minimum sukura monom na minimum aduano kura wudi and na minimum katakura woda so because as a normal reasonable person no I don't know ade betimi influence wa betimi atena TV so making such argument when you understand the trend, the phenomenon cause okroma. Unless when the common sense and young tokwa na mo decide say when the common sense and young tokwa na we decide say who you ni biem.
Ivan.
Oh yes.
Why someone walking on the floor of Parliament?
Okay.
And Afenyo Markin original.
Okay.
Now, I did also okay same we say, and then I was telling we say ignorance. Say who advertise here, it becomes what idiocy.
Yes. Yes. They say ignorance is bliss.
It's bliss.
But when you advertise it publicly,
it becomes idiocy.
Yeah.
I deal with family. Afenyo Markin sorry on the floor of Parliament. I didn't know can a introvert or you know can send no correct.
Okay.
And I don't go banner up to say or you in the fem. Let's listen.
It is 3%. It is no more 3%. If this bill is passed, you are taking it to 15%. Tell me that I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Real estate from 5% you are going to 15%. Are you maintaining the current threshold or you are increasing it? And by increasing, does it not amount to imposition of tax? Look, we are wide awake. We are watching every move of yours. We are watching you. Yes, you should come and rebut.
Mr. Speaker, it is important for us not to mislead the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, if you were a trader and you were charged a presumptive tax of 3% that he's referring to, you went to a warehouse to go and buy the stocks that you came to sell. There was an imposition of a tax. There was an imposition of a tax that you did not recover. So if you wanted to tell the effective rate that the person paid, it is the 3% plus what he paid at the warehouse to buy the stock. Today, what he paid at the stock would be allowed as a deductible expense. It will be an input VAT. So if he now has a value of 2%, it is 2% he's charging, technically. Exactly. So for anybody to ignorantly say that if you move from 3%, to 15%.
Honorable
You have imposed
Adongo,
additional tax.
please withdraw the word ignorant.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw. That effectively, if you look at this, we said the tax that you are expecting, there is a revenue neutral. Why do we say that? You lose some. Listen, you lose some, you gain some. So what you get is that person who was losing the cost of the materials that he bought in terms of VAT now gains. Okay? But in addition to that, 3 billion Ghana cedis is being made available by decoupling, by abolishing the decoupling of the NHIM. And so the effective VAT rate, Mr. Speaker, is that you are moving from 21.95% to 20%. Let anybody tell me that you would like to pay a tax of 21.5 as opposed to 20. I don't know where my minority leader wants to tell me that he would prefer to pay a tax of 21.95 instead of 20. That is what it is. So please, let us not mislead the people of Ghana for the sake of politics.
92.3.
So yeah, that is it.
But the one with the way what touching it's emotions with so I'm gonna throw the two up on social media language, you know. About we all say what yes.
So if you do this, besides credibility bang and a wuja in your wake, you are in a position you're supposed to convince people. But when I catch yourself politics now, we are a political party, and you always appeal to your base. That political party in Tumponda. Okay. That is a particular class of people we are outside your political circles. You need to communicate to appeal to them and convince them to be on your side. And the question maybe someone said, so where the state MPP women the conduct of the so-called aspirants on the campaign trail, plus the conduct of the minority in parliament, you know. Now we have party leadership. I know when you say your friend saying a chairman of crime so Janice and a bush and for some final course at the end. No, besides, say intellectual bang and this argument can convince that person to buy. So the prevailing uproar on social media now reflected the tattered state of the party.
The tattered state.
Oh yes, the tattered state of the party, and the fact is people are operating at the behest of personal twisted emotions. They are not amenable to reasoning. People have become so arrogant. Issues create that I say ya funny church nipa ma buy wisdom from Ghanaians and Ghana for be taking our side, you know. They will not. Yen free parliament, yen sorry yen say now appropriation bill no more 15 way pass it through because they were up there.
Sir.
So besides nipa na what for about massacre representing no representation papa bang and a war. Na Wona who ye fia odaga tema and am so finance minister kura dwane. You are not even asking helping how e de beba kroma say. You are asking say aban enreshafu obi. Economy na enne, o compare ne. Now compare the ne woman no ya. What reasonable basis do you have to suggest say yan reshafu obi? You don't have. Mena wo betimi atena aka che John Mahama say ebia asumasi ba wo no you don't have that credibility because the whole finance minister makofa na ba ye adwana free ne ma me kromo adwana free ne papa kromo ne or high lawyers say oh ma ne ma me kromo or say me me kromo me nko biem
because my bokro no
this shameless your friend specter is hanging. You sit in parliament and you shamefully talk about Obi. So I'm a land minister. Alaska, I can tell you say the land ministry is one of the toughest ministry in recent times. But the gentleman has been able to navigate the storms. And then I say for now, lithium do year by year. Ghana for sorry say watch the wide buying, but yansono yen because of A, B, C, D. No, the government has decided okay, let's withdraw it. Lithium no media Ghana for there. So if this is the conversation that has been activated, fine. Young person young re-engage. That is how. That is what you call governance.
But we will pass it.
Alaska,
we will pass it.
Governance in Chile say we make mistake. Aban be make mistake we say. But say we mistake and I say wo ya de na nipa de na no tom. Na wo hunyansa say me on mine am running. I'm running for a group of people. If this is what they are saying now, let me pause and engage. That is phenomenon. That is a sign of a good leader. But beside who say at the time no yenya sa chance ni bi levia Ghana for buofu na kwabrane dia ye cake e di birthday.
Hey.
Yase mam nko han jet. Na yakọ han jet na besi tamake so na yetuaka. Yase president gari wo wiem. Alaska, you see, in politics, obibeka say atwam, but comparative analysis is very key because the remnant of this dangerous behavior that these people lived, we are still served with it.
That's right.
And now John Mahama Baye, he has to go and find money to pay bond holders.
That's right.
That money could have gone somewhere. What I say? So if you think you can thrive on misinformation, you will not survive. Oba, people will expose you. Now, Brantie Kotana do me from no say, or say, I buy not $10 billion. There, I said no cano. No, I said that to no one. Why name Dobri Sabaya?
Why name
Dobri Sabaya? Emotionally, people will know. Or they can't say me serious.
Ghana for the mob.
Exactly. Sasik, the Okan yes and year my with a whole crown say, or Sasicano. Nke betim, you bet him the aqua yet 24-hour economy. Sika ben and kede bet him the 24-hour economy. Sika no call him, a yera call him. Alaska. Bakacho said $1. Yakasa $1 kosra. A chere say the circulation in the system now limited.
That's right.
So they will have to pay more for $1. So government, because of the interventions in the gold board, and there is an influx, a inflow of dollars. Bank of Ghana ebe keep you for reserve. But when you have extra beyond your reserve, what do? You give this money to the commercial banks so that people will have access to the money. That is a simple explanation. It becomes a problem when governments any enough reserve. Because I told the idea or payment then as for Nema Walker, you need $1. But Bank of Ghana say, hey, yes, the IMF is a million to as a reserve. No cry them manya extra. And I am giving money to the central bank. Sebeya, Alaska a businessman. Alaska ye adwuma waboso kan. Now I say up $1. When you walk to your bank, GT Bank, you go to Access Banker, you can have access to $1 because Sikano, Bank of Ghana and fan check.
That's right.
When they release these monies to your friends, commercial banks now, they take CDs or any other valuable way.
Equivalent to
exactly. So where lies the argument? Say Sikano can bet me there 25. Now Kwabrane TV so why you name Dobri or can
na host no suit to ho
no na say host na can when your panel host journalist why research about Tena TV so na kika answer no yes Alaska so I think that we've gotten to era misinformation will not thrive. It will not triumph. So me now soldier for issues by a normal king. The media say yes, Obian will be Timatra Kruma catches a soldier for in here, your friend say improvement. Obian ho. But in some onion or crano, men can gum. Medabia Mekase, there is a huge gap between officers. And it's a recruit for no 92.3 from officers and more after a more officers program now we soldier for no.
That's right.
And they recruits are the brew for no. There is a huge gap. So government and the army will have to do everything to ensure that they bridge that gap. Because I know that they do the same job. Even the dirty job is done by your friends that they recruit, And
police you're from constable.
And so from cool time there has always been a constant friction between the officers and then
a junior
and the junior ranks.
You're
from the other ranks in your junior ranks. Other ranks. Yes, so always there is a friction because of the disparity in terms of services and benefits. So my recommendation to government is say let us make sure say the wide gap between the other ranks and the officers, let us bridge it. No, any self-respect. Say, because when the two begin to work together, and the army are efficient. So these are valid arguments we can activate. But don't go and lie to people. Say you and for Jessica say, and I buy no more marketua. That is a lie. So nobody is stopping Obiso being criticized you, but the criticism should be very constructive. The last time when I went to Burma camp, I was shocked. I Burma camp here, Krobia, a whole fan and for
I was there this morning.
Oh, Alaska. We will have a real whole year. And we can tell government to say, living conditions na se let us improve it. Yes, a binom awie service na back pay sankan. We can tell Aban say speed up things. I think there is a assurance in the for no. Let us make sure that we do this. These are legitimate arguments. But what is not there, don't put it there. That's my point. What I say. So that is how I build your minor. I'm a minor corner. So minority any credibility to cause a young will be. Because you will be Susana and minority now. That is why the reshuffle should start. Because Afenyo Markin or a leader. We a leader. Where you the way lead the party will lose opposition. You are supposed to make intelligent argument to convince people to come to your side. Arrogance way when you the leader. Members of parliament, are winner 88, even the opposition, you are even losing the numbers.
That's right.
This guy organized a press conference and told the whole world, say, a court in the kangaroo court. Court no air working for John Mahama. And the Supreme Court do ruling by or call for stay ya grant ya mawi.
And that just yesterday, Suhum, just at the Koforidia High Court. And so as you say, petition be on the by against Suhum sitting MP, it lacks certain merit in where to they were on social media jubilating. And now comment section now. So
Alaska. So actually say change has really happened.
That's right.
And that transformation go both ways. And favor be 92.3. And now we are Ghana near. So Ghana near to our affairs, Asemko Supreme Court was a be enquasi ruling a ba nyansa be anim. Ordinary person can say na ruling be nie. Na say ne. Say Supreme Court need to deliver judgment in favor opposition party in the last 8 years. Yenhu bia. You should know, say, at least we are moving from a certain stage to another stage. And that should be an indictment because and with me get to the Chief Justice or panel your friends are judges to hear your case in less than 12 hours.
And we do Friday's crowd.
Yes, Emma win your judgment and judgment never be a go in your favor. I said, "Your question them when I know under that." A toba and Ghana for some social media. Now no go on social media and say the same Supreme Court, even though judgment no quote the interest of our buying,
that's right.
But go to social media. Me on several platforms, I sat on platforms and I have your friends commended the Supreme Court.
That's right.
And for minor no mugun anymore, I'm told say he was part of the panel.
That's right.
What I say? So it shows that these people are dispensing justice based on Niamana Ewohono and your personal emotions. And I mean, I say, and say, your opposition now so back as an answer one Kenyan Sasema, nobody will take you so because for Ghana need your Otwa Bafono. This is what they are getting.
That's right.
I voted for change so that there will be a transformation in the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court. But I'm also asking the Chief Justice or when the new High Court.
That's right.
And McCarthy is somebody or Kansama, you cannot take it lightly because he's one of the smartest, one of the most intelligent young people who have been in this game for a very long time. Alaska, the High Court, there is a problem. Because judgment just devoid of logic, devoid of reasoning. This Lumba issue by Obi Formula Assembly, I am interested in now me a concern about the rulings, both Kumasi and Accra. Common sense has been missed. That is why Ghana for ask questions. My culture say, if you see law as a byproduct of philosophy, it must have certain trend with logic.
That's right.
Reasoning, common sense. You don't need to deliver justice and people have to struggle to understand. Because law is supposed to naturally sync with reasoning. Mr. Law is not a complex thing. Law is legal position and law is supposed to always fall in line with reasoning. Yeah, there are other aspects like contract and other aspect of law. Based on certain principles, they are far away from us until sometimes, but when it comes to cases like this, they are supposed to fall in line with reasoning. Now, MPP, he has been a lawyer for a very long time. Also in his life as our practice as a judge, as a lawyer. Until say judge di asemda. Na parties ni na kofie. Na otika my afro someone samra. Without motion so be a file at the oba say judgment me jabi wo me de ba be ka ho.
Recently, Ebisu she work for the High Court too.
Okay.
There was this Atiwa East Municipal Chief Executive. Now, Yanko Kane say, Tebia Oka say we are not here to impress anybody. Now, there was this land court assessor Mobianko so. So by virtue, say we are municipal chief executive and I will call so and they are cited for contempt. Parties in Yinaba Martinase, Emma, ye jailing for 8 days.
Okay.
And now I say police for a year and crata and the other parties no so call. Lawyer no call do baby and as a free but say judges were done no for fine.
And I make a say.
So the lower court, Chief Justice.
Yes, me the last time me opportunity. That is what I told him. Say, on man a new lower court, because
only opportunity.
Oh, and I said when we speak on air, and then as a phone, but we should move grab it.
That's right.
And then be an hour what is all better.
92.3.
So or shall could we sense as a crop better.
That's right.
Because social media is also hobby.
Very well.
Alaska is very, very important. Say. Yema, because in Crofono pake. Or my just say Obino a legal advisor to MPP or more council of way.
That's or the national.
Yes, or high court way. Party people. And there are people whether they qualify or they don't qualify, whatever. Me say, whenever you are dispensing justice, who say, and your mama I will dispense your man and your papa. You are dispensing for the people and the people must accept it. Yes, people can disagree. But where that ruling is in variance with common sense, reason and logic, you will create chaos. So see in Lumba case, just imagine say a serious political issue. NDC MPP. Nka wouldn't the best Okroma say. But M4 will be hunting the free say normal.
And your politics.
Yes. Na me obri abo they are making Alaska. Let's admit say yes, the judge can vary. Or no, I said the law is at the bosom of the judge.
That's right.
Or couldn't watch a banana drinks a sign or to me from, but that's fine. But the verdict, must be reasonable. How can you tell Obi say your friend say ruling in some now the TO, in some now the buyer no, in some now the buyer no. My shema Yansawum in Yanaswom, police for some more autopsy, BBA, are you okay? Magia Tuma certifies a Yansawum. Nafi Munko, me ba me say. In some Magia Tum say Yansawum, BBA no. So 20 billion within 2 hours. And as answer me, I'm making about Nyansa Ben was
initially in Nyansa womb, but when you are 20
billion, which means a wooden car.
Was some sir.
And now, time now, what do you money panel? 20 billion or come for one answer or quest. Just say, Sakawa answer say, and now Quatiti Hane or Quatiti Murana or Chantiamana Daisika. Alaska, you cannot walk to a bank in this country within 2 hours. It was even less than 2 hours to raise 20 billion. I am very much concerned. Me issue no mean interest be our more. But I'm saying this because over the years, we've been fighting for the court. Because I felt so ashamed as a Ghanaian going to social media and see how young people are ridiculing the court. It's the reason why some of us put our lives on the line, fight for this particular change to happen, and make sure, the court will be sanitized.
Right.
We did not vote for change for such silly rulings and silly judgment to continue. No, they put to Ghana for on the other side. So the Chief Justice will have a big task to do. I don't have interest. But you see, where I'm interested in is justice for the ordinary, justice for the poor, justice for the average. You don't need to have powerful people behind you before. No. You don't need, especially when the case is a high profile case, among for interest whom people have their suspicion or be out on the way. So when you allow it to fall in line, it means the public perception of one, you are just deep in it. Not the day you endanger everybody. We are talking about it because we feel threatened. Well, Chinano, Obino Binya, some free order to be. No, fan cocoa to hand a
sir, and no nesi wa Nigeria Sokoto. And you want to say, Nianuya Dano, and Obabin.
But it's not supposed to be so.
Sadly.
Obio here ninti when you're 20 billion man, Nyansa Semna Makani and I'm attracting it. Doesn't make sense. One kasa from a very reasonable perspective. With your one. That doesn't make sense. I think so. What is a man for a can't sema? And that's will be your interest because now no Makati better now. I was listening,
right?
And I have listened to a couple of people who are making. But you see, Makati said, "I'm saying society near very corrupt society, you know." and emotional people in some no bad. We ignore these things and think, oh, akwama we. We need to be very critical.
May I say, I'm live on the radio. I'm on 92.3. Time check. It's about 21 minutes to the top of the hour. 5 p.m. Now, my main kind messages kakra na answer na no. My main kind was King's Air Appliances. Say awie se wutie mi a ye di bronya. Na ye di ayakrade bia ba ye frɛ no yatete so. Na se yatete so dia unya 699 Ghana cedis so de benya brand new television efi King's Air Appliances. Na eno ebetumi aboa pa. Ewie ni aka ni se afi na afi ewie die King's Air be ye butu ni nyina te atwa nyina na se yem brand bi te se Samsung Media Nasco Pearl ena de ekeka ho nyina no bomadi se obeba King's Air afeso kitchen home and appliances nyina no enu so ye wo say what flat screen TVs, deep freezers, air conditioners, washing machines, and the ekika King's Air Appliances say uto ye niema yema 12 month warranty. Nampo in the course of that no say bibi atochima ye sisa the amount na say ye the amount free. Friend was 0555 776050 and a 0200 42 1004 0200 421004 King's Air Appliances. Me see en kancha say yenton ye niema wo online. Afeso yenton niema nso e wo social media no so. Mami messages are aba any bi aja no de we fi Koforidia. O say eya na hudwuru woma koso a defend akromfo yi etise finance minister any woma omabo oman we na obehwe na mafo de che nei kenofrata tumi enya no si na adwi prese ofa lawyer for munum de no mutumi aboa na se na be ya ye fa no ma oman Ghana ho akire o se nanado bo na adwi mu pop so odi na busiafo ba bewia eno mawia live boy enso se odi nchia edi mama Alaska the Don ena Ivan Che Innocent se na adwi ma bo ma bill o si MPP se omo ba ba be ye dem bio omo ma yen kwan na yen dwen Reverend Josiah Eddie Wefi Gbechile and other by or say Midincha the Mount Alaska or say hey Ivan why you nina or say MPP pa now we a day or say MPP or me a crop or say Ivan when making me day no and ne papa na we should you the abba ayana mufa mudi efaka or say MPP or say Ghana Nkrumah adumi and cry because ni Nkrumah ye ma o my Ghana nyina no ye tumi fa kwan biso eyi ni maya Nkrumah wadumi yen wesu Alaska ye da wase ewo edwuma wo ye ene ni so aduru Yakupon ye ma say every Friday bia no bomode na fampai bo efamra ne mo mpai ma eye John Dramani mama we see your friend the staff odo fi Koforidua ena odi eba ye Lydia Akam on Facebook Osi kenoforiata de we gu oni na busiafo nyina animase twiaka na onidi dia ba Gode Atom ensus Alaska the Don buame na police enlistment into the academic recruitment requirement in here then because yeah kita first class and second class upper no yeah na so when you D7 wo wasimu na yi wudi film hwe di maye na etisa and you ko invest ni ko ye den parliament no soji Osi JDM any NDC any opinion leaders no Osi Ivan any Charles McCarthy kodyo ye boa ehia appointment mumu emfa emayen izi ayana enya obi a otena radio so ne ekasa no ehia appointment what we say ni say yama oman no enye kama Osi the play level field say na be Ghana ni person o access bibia obenya. Now, also MPP knowing very well say omo kono. Your own parking court no. Because omo nim so ye day at the court. It was a nay say BBC MPP nin catch to go to court. Because onim say ni defender. So the lower court baby nay It's a winning you side with.
Yeah, the Chief Justice will have to do a job, a sort of trimming. But my catcher say yes, sir, nipa be break based on party affiliation and affinity.
That's right.
And I'm going to move sanse munu masa be crassy ruling na baba and out in China we crash show. Na sani amano a bo mayo. My catcher said there is in a social environment, there is a fiber. I hold you na so be together. The very moment that fiber begin to disintegrate at a tear, we will be Jose because there be a mechanism. I dear boy, my home buying with trust and confidence. Man for war, a war mind. And quite a fast one at it, yes, I near my way. Yes, last night me can't go Sudan. I say, Frebi Ashabab. Yes, here, Una also on Tiasamase. Ebi, Ekura Masters. Ebi a professors. Ebi a doctor. What na your friend say surgical room operating on nipa. But I do a maybe a for 2 quarter rooms or a rebel or we mura. Abua mono na oche no we. Ebi anko betimi atena estate baby ahwe na yere ne ma. But enam say they feel disappointed. No monya trust our system ne institution mu ntuno. They have come to the conclusion that the only way am betimi justice over for 2 of us kan. But ni nyina ba when the court becomes compromised. My catcher said, yeah, a part of the world, it's easy to have executive or the OP.
That's right.
It's always easy to have parliament that is like ours. Partisan football in some who discussion and as for Mfasobia Mraganani. But the judiciary can never be so. The very moment people begin to dispense justice that is devoid of reasoning logic, na say men am take court na the lawyers at my board me pen am me say court na your ma me de your papa de e na be yaduru you cannot give a ruling and say men am me judge nti mo bi an criticize me wo ye wadwuma no bi an but why ye wi ababo nten no sa last ka betimi aka say judgment we me hwa e fe o nyansa wom. And the same way, I don't know judgment
right.
It's not the same thing. So do the right thing so that people will praise you and that will give the country confidence. You don't give rulings that will set the country apart. Because these issues here, because just imagine a high political profile cases. Do you know near betimi asisi men can say my ruling na nipa nyina nya adwen because ruling be enu aba nipa nyina but when there is a sharp disconnection from reason and common sense and where the court could have even taken further steps to ascertain the fact sabaya asemno will settle the matter, you need to do that,
right?
But if judgment seek to create more problem than before, Alaska Jansa Bene, when the court no for so bad also. What are some Americano? Me no yenti asema sintina ye court. But ye court no judgment no creating more problem than even before. Jansa Bene we do be na ye. So I think say made them appeal to Chief Justice and say
we do
ya support ya up to now.
It's only the research.
But be aduru no he need to do wanya no and jejeje. Sefasuna Ghana for Kasa social fiber metitino be able from Russia in summer a buy in so. But I think that we should not get there and allow few miscreants hiding in Pongoni and from medicine some who met your minor because a minor so change will be this country is bigger than any other individual. So how dare you see someone say I'm a judge in Timina? Now ask me say Pontius Pilate or Shada dear Chakraba and generation will be and so would some munu the Pabacana Jachero and Pongomi. They should do the right in the same way. Sir President, dear name, Quam for come, Margin no. Sano be on back on Margin. The only thing you can exonerate yourself is to do the right thing.
May I say that was Ivan J. Innocent. Now, Megususu pick information be the judicial service. Chief Justice team especially auction ekosui ye wo kromwa ne hu kwan omofa so omo de tunton to cars bi achiche ma omo na this is an allegation. Chief Justice team ni judicial service na there is one transport officer bi ewo one of the regions. Yes is oshini anoba na be ye generator and yes we kan one no Chief Justice ye fan kosi ni ho. Ade we wa no we ye fiesi Chief Justice here fankosi ni ho unimu ho and I think from next week I was here to gather all for because Chief Justice by per investigation chese papa ni nim ne yakoso Enti Chief Justice Bana Oba no yenim say amanfo resisted but amfa people will do everything to make sure that they make it the man unpopular.
No, he should quickly address himself with what is happening.
Okay.
Because there is a reason. Cecilia Okogana Kotra from top to down. He's the most experienced person.
That's right.
So that should reflect in the job. Oh yeah. Now making sure say any miscreant obi osema odin semhunu ema sabi ankwase judgment ene sabi judgment enyansa anim de niema benam so bebo man no wi na to ye no. He should make sure that those people are found out, sanctioned or whatever. Now we are taking no prisoners. I'm telling you.
Right.
We are taking no prisoners. And don't you ever sit somewhere and say, I am too powerful to be criticized. Share. We are.
I was just say, Enoch Tete Kwabala, Edward Yasewa. I seen him pie bonnet, sir, and young coupon and Cassanian and Anom. One more sunsum and kuntiak and ofuriata. Now only in daily was sunsumu. Now Bonia or the other Ghana phone and nanum some phone in D.
Oh, sorry, coy.
Oh,
some phone no to Kruman or sorry, coy. Massa. My name Ram Fano Masters some phone. I'll call some phone who know.
Ever do if you are Shamas Alaska. I say you're talking for that and the Japadi in na your farmer or my Ghana. Where should you or the Abba or say Allah Mevacho Mimbia Homa you? Or say Alaska, and Yomna will boy by Nancy no me papa. Where you say Alaska the Dawn? I see a friend me ni Masuru anyway fitema. I say Alaska the Dawn, a kufado. Ekache wiase nyina se nyankopon de ne ba se na be ya nya Ghana fo be hu NDC fo hu mfa so samre obetumi aba en ye wi na Ivan Che Innocent Arapu app e di amaye 0303 402862 and 0303 402904 0541 825106. Good evening,
Alaska.
Yes sir.
Pacho, Medindi Yawaza, Refisu, Meluso, my voice, Kakra.
Okay.
Na Chiaiva, Mammy, can't me Pancho, Ombra, Esterigi, na Uncle Doc Esterigi, and Mokuneta Kuja, the Quasi, say, Yedanat.